On this Monday morning, we welcome our guests from Titusville Area Hospital. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Great, thank you. How was your weekend?
It was great. Good.
Great.
It goes by too fast.
It does go by too fast. Holly?
Yeah.
Introduce yourself and your guest.
Hi, I'm Holly Wolf from the hospital, from Titusville Area Hospital. This is Angie Russell. She is our director of the cardiac rehab service at the hospital. And being at American Heart Month in February, I thought she would be a perfect guest to talk about our heart program at the hospital.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Angie, for you, we haven't seen you on the show here in a couple years.
It's been a few years. Yeah, it has been.
So welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's talk about this month and what's going on.
Yeah, on Friday, it was American Go Red for Women Day, so we had a little fundraiser at the hospital and raised $295 towards that.
Wow.
So we're happy to always support the American Heart Association. So we will be giving that check to our representative for the American Heart Association at our open house on February 14th. So we're having an open house in our cardiac rehab department, which Angie's helping coordinate. So we're just, really happy to show everyone in the community what a great department we have for cardiac rehab. And it's especially important for those people that have recently suffered from cardiac events, maybe a heart attack or they had stenting done, things like that. So we really want to get people in and, have them look at the department and see how wonderful it is. And the equipment that we have is really, it's up to date and it's really good equipment. So we want to get them in and hopefully they don't have anything like that occur. But if they do, we're here and we want to help them get back to a good normal life.
The picture that was taken Friday. It was a great picture. Where can folks find that? They
can find that on our Facebook page. Okay. Yeah, so we, like I said, we raised $295, and that was just, people giving $5 donation to wear a red shirt. So, so we had a lot of people participating in that at the hospital, and so we took a group photo, and it's on our Facebook page, the Titusville Area Hospital Facebook page. So we're very happy with the outcome of that.
Well, Angie, for you, what's been happening up there since last time we spoke?
Well, we've continued on with cardiac rehab. We still have a lot of people. We never run out. We are still there 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We start about 6:30 in the morning, end at 2:30, and still seeing anybody with heart attacks, bypass, stents, congestive heart failure, any of those diagnoses.
So talk about the event coming up on the 14th, which just happens to be Valentine's Day.
It does.
And we'll have our red on that day.
Yeah, we thought it was very fitting.
Yeah.
So the regular patients will come in the morning and they'll do their exercise, but then we'll have our open house at noon, and our speaker, Gina Kloft from the Heart Association, will speak from 12:15 to 12:45.
Yep. She's going to do just a brief presentation on, heart health in general, and then also there's some new guidelines for blood pressure that the American Heart Association just came out with, and blood pressure is such a big thing. Everybody, it seems these days, have to watch it, or when you go to the doctor's office, they're always checking it, and a lot of people do it at home. So there's some new guidelines out there, and I really personally don't know what they are. So I'm excited to learn that as well. So
when you're at the grocery store and you're sticking your hand,
yeah, exactly.
It gives you an okay number, or are they pretty accurate, or?
I think so. Yeah, okay. I think so. Yeah, as long as you hold still, and they're pretty accurate.
Okay. Yeah. So if you get those numbers and you are concerned, maybe you should make a phone call and
call your doctor.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Yep. But you need to come and listen to Gina so you know what the new guidelines are.
Yeah.
And we'll be checking blood pressures too that day. If anybody wants anything checked, and we'll have a light lunch that day. And
how has technology improved the way people are sort of monitoring their health? I see stories, whether they're the Fitbits or the Apple Watches, where people are looking at it going, okay, you know what, maybe this will help me become healthier. Oh, I didn't realize my heart rate was this.
Yeah, it's great. Right. I mean, people have they're educated so much more with heart disease. And, the treatment, people know. People know when you have certain symptoms, you get to the emergency room. It's just so much better than it used to be. When I first became a nurse years ago, treatment is so much better. People are just more knowledgeable on everything. their medications, their exercise, what they should be doing to live healthy. It's much better.
Yeah.
So, Holly, do people, or is it not people, but did the doctors, can they take that information if your watch stores that and just kind of take a look to say, oh, you know what, your patterns at night are different. We should be concerned about this.
Sure. I mean, they could definitely, take that into consideration and then do further testing, which would be not saying the Apple Watches aren't accurate, but it would give them, a better reading, and then they can go from there. So it's definitely an indicator, those of what could be a problem, and then they can do further testing from there. But if someone doesn't wear that watch and they're not aware that that their heart rate is off or things like that, then they would never know. So I definitely think that technology is improving the people's way of life, and it's definitely just being aware of what to watch for. So I think it definitely is a good thing.
Playing off of Valentine's Day, and this is a good time to do that. You're also coming off the start of the new year, right? People are thinking healthier thoughts this time of year. Although at this point it starts to kind of dwindle. Yeah. So what can folks do to just keep that, at the top of their mind that, what, the year's still early. I should be worrying about my health, what I'm eating, my exercise routine.
Yep. Just keep, get into a habit. That's the big thing. Yeah. And nice weather is coming, so I always tell people, get outside. Spring will be here soon in a few months. But a lot of people got those Fitbits for Christmas, so keep on using them, and
You know what, though? My wife and I tend to get out for walks or runs at night. And this weather, I mean, this is going to sound odd, but it's rather beautiful. I mean, it's very nice. I'm a skier, so I don't mind the cold temperatures. Yeah. But just to be out in it is, I mean, if you can kind of get past that mentally, right? It's really beautiful.
It is.
In fact, it's easier for us to do that this time of year than it is in the warmer months.
Yeah.
Yep, just put your hat and coat on and go.
Yeah.
You also have, this time of year, heavy snow. People are shoveling. People are maybe out exerting some energy that they might not be doing on a regular basis. And I think sometimes you see an increase in heart attacks or strokes associated with that. What are some tips for those who maybe haven't exercised in a while, or they're not eating right, but they're still going out and doing things like shoveling heavy snow? Or
we caution them with especially the heavy wet snow. Yeah. Snow blowers are wonderful, but do just, if you have to, just sweep some or just push it a little. Don't do the heavy lifting. Call somebody, because that is very hard on the heart to be lifting that heavy snow, and especially in cold weather. The cold weather with breathing in that cold air just makes it's just so much harder on the body. It makes the heart work harder. So just be careful.
What kind of food should people avoid? Because we just came off the Super Bowl, right?
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings, big greasy hamburgers.
Everything you ate last night.
Yeah.
Stick with the carrots and celery. Avoid those deep fried things, especially chicken wings are terrible.
What should folks be substituting? You mentioned, the carrots and celery and stuff, but
well, if people love the chicken wings, I tell them get chicken breast. There is a recipe you can do, like the hot sauce with chicken breast. Just cut it up into smaller bites, and it's more meat. On the chicken wing, there's no meat on there, just bones and skin and veins. So so come on, do the chicken breast. It's healthier.
The big thing too nowadays are those the air fryers, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Do they make a healthier meal than using the oils and the
It sure
grease?
sounds like it. I don't have one, but we have a few patients that have them, and they love them.
Yeah.
So I really don't know, but it seems like it'd be much better than the oil.
Yeah. I don't personally have one either, but I understand it just uses a little bit of oil, so I would think that it'd be better than submerging that whole big piece of chicken
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 8:20 is our time. This is the Morning Drill on Stream Television, Armstrong, and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. So, Holly, again, some big events coming up at the hospital this month. Let's talk about those events again.
Yeah. The open house will be on the 14th. We're like I said, really excited. We want the community to come in. We're inviting all of our staff. We're hoping that even some of our medical providers will come in just to get a look at, what is going on, because I don't think a lot of them, I know that they know we're there, but, I just think people forget, so I think it's a good reminder. And when you walk in, I don't know if you've ever been in our cardiac rehab department, probably not, but when you walk in, you're amazed. I mean, it is a really nice department. How many pieces of equipment is in there?
We have 4 treadmills, about 5 or 6 bicycles. The auxiliary just bought us another piece of equipment, so we're going to have 2 new steps, which is wonderful. Weights. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to offer.
Yeah. And the classes, like Angie mentioned, there's different phases when you're talking about cardiac rehab. And the first phase occurs when you're actually in the hospital directly after the cardiac event occurs. So what we do at the hospital is phase 2 and 3. So Angie can talk a little bit more about, what those different phases mean.
Sure.
Phase 2 is right after they get discharged, say that after their bypass or their stent. And about a month is usually when we see, whenever they're ready. But we get the order from the doctor, and it's monitored, and your insurance usually pays for it. And that lasts 12 weeks. So they're there for 12 weeks to get much stronger. And then phase 3 would be after that. If they choose to exercise at home, outside, or with us would be phase 3. They would just stay, and with our supervision, we check their blood pressure. They know what their heart rate should be. They know the equipment. So they can stay as long as they like for that. They come and they exercise for about an hour, but they could stay their lifetime for that.
How difficult is it for somebody who maybe has had a stroke, heart attack, to think, is it okay to exercise? I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt my heart.
Yep.
Well, and that's what's great about these programs, because Angie, they take their blood pressure before they get on the machine, and it's you mentioned technology, they're constantly being monitored while they're on this machine. So, and there's 2 nurses in the department at all times, and so they're right there watching exactly what's going on with them. And so if something does seem off, then they can handle it right then and there. So it's really, Dr. McAllister, he's internal medicine doc here in town, and he's a medical director. So he oversees that as well.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh.
No, I'm joking.
No, he's
I'm
good.
joking.
No, I get it. I get it now. I was like, what?
He's always available to us. It's great.
It's funny, and I shouldn't say this, because there's these commercials for another hospital where somebody picks up the phone and they're visually seeing, so they're not going into the doctor.
Right, telemedicine.
Telemedicine, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, that's nice, but your doctors here don't mind a text message or a phone call sometimes to say, hey, I'm experiencing this. And they'll be great. They'll say, hey, maybe you should come in. Right. Or, okay, well, I know what this is, so we'll take care of you.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
It's very personal, isn't it?
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
But, our program does help them get over those fears because we exercise them hard enough that, they're ready to get on with their life. Where years ago, if you had a heart attack, people just sat and they didn't do anything. Where now, you're much better. You're fixed. It's time to, get on with your life. And
is it easy to kind of retreat back to the old ways, though, to maybe what caused the initial issue?
Some do, some don't. Some see it as a new beginning, like, wow, I was eating poorly, I didn't exercise at all, and I feel so much better now, I have all this energy. So I would say it's a higher percentage that continue on with a healthier lifestyle than don't.
Are there warning signs, or how obvious are the warning signs prior to something major happening?
Some people have not many signs. Others might start out with being very fatigued, just tired, short of breath. Some just suddenly have chest pain, shortness of breath, nausea, and they just know they need to get to the ER. Others, it can be more subtle, and it's just like, oh, I've had many people tell me, I just thought I was getting older, so that's why I was tired, that's why I was short of breath. But no, if you have any symptoms that are new and persist like that, get them checked out.
It's so easy to go online today, right, and type in whatever symptom, and then you get a million things.
Yeah.
That's taking the shortcut. The best solution is to contact your doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
and get in right away.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because you'll say fatigue, or shortness of breath. I'm thinking, well, I'm always tired.
I know. I was thinking that too. I was like, man.
But kids, right?
Right.
Spouse.
More than usual.
Just more than okay.
More than usual.
Getting up to do this show. No. But in your head, you're thinking, oh my gosh. Well, that sounds like me, or that sounds like me.
Yeah, and like you said, technology is great, but sometimes in these instances it scares people,
Yes, yeah.
Being aware of the symptoms is really good to, for precaution reasons. But if you're having some type of symptom and you get online and you research it yourself and, it either, number one, really scares you, or number two, you could kind of sometimes pass it off like, oh, I just have the flu, because it seems like those are the same symptoms, but in reality you're not, so you should always call your doctor.
Andrew, let's talk real quick, the folks in your department. What's that like to be working with a group of people that just they care about the patients?
It's great. My job is wonderful. I love it. You really get to know them over that 12-week period. We see all ages, ranging from, maybe early 30s to 90s. And you really get to know them and their families. And you see people that maybe they're hardly able to get out of the chair before they come in. They're just tired and weak, where, some people are walking a mile before they come in. So you see different stages, but you see them get stronger no matter, what they've been able to do coming in. They're always stronger, and they feel better, and it's very rewarding to see that. It's great.
It really helps them get their life back. After a heart attack, people struggle, and they're healthy one day, or think they're healthy one day, and then all of a sudden they're laying in a hospital room and they almost died, or it's pretty serious. So going to that department and for the full 12 weeks, or if you decide to stay, which Angie mentioned most people do decide to stay, and exercise on their own, then it's really getting them back to where they should be, or where they need to be, or maybe even better than what they were, and getting them back to their life, really.
So information on this topic, can they contact the hospital?
Yep, absolutely. Sure. Yep. So if you've had a heart attack in the past, or you have congestive heart failure or something like that, you can certainly call to learn more about our cardiac rehab program. It's 827-1851. Ask for cardiac rehab. You can talk directly to Angie. You can go online, titusvillehospital.org. We have some information on there about it as well.
All right. Of course, they can attend the events that you guys host.
Yep,
sure,
on February 14th. We hope to see you, noon to 2.
Make a date. There's your Valentine's Day right there.
And we're offering lunch, and
really,
you can learn more about our, our program, more about the new guidelines for blood pressure. So it's going to be an exciting day.
All right. So think about your heart health in this month of Valentine's Day.
That's right.
That's perfect. It's better than what we got with Phil and Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So instead of 6 more weeks of winter, hopefully 600 more years of life.
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah, something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Keep up the
Thank
good
you.
work, and always a pleasure learning what's going on with Titusville Area Hospital.
Yeah,
So
thanks,
lots
Luke.
of big things. And again, that event is on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February. So should folks make an appointment? Should
They can
let you know?
RSVP. They can do that online at titusvillehospital.org under the event section, or they can call 827-8717 to RSVP.
All right.
But they can walk in as well.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty. 8:30, Final Look at News is coming up next.
Heart of lonely, deep in dark despair.